Good morning and welcome to our 6 a.m. Pacific time moment of devotion using 365 Science of Mind, a year of wisdom from Ernest Holmes, the founder of our movement Centers for Spiritual Living. Even if you do not enjoy waking up at 6 a.m., you can watch these broadcasts anytime during the day because we leave them up. And I love hearing from you, where you're joining us from. It's always wonderful for me to see the comments and the good mornings and where you're calling in from or tuning in from, logging on from. Gotta update my language. This morning on February 14th, I'm going to use the beginning and the end of the writing today because it seems like there are two distinct ideas being dealt with in today's reading, and I want to focus for myself on the bookends, which is all about tuning in to the inner voice and listening to it. It's a kind of visioning practice, and we've been playing with it a little bit over the past months by asking the question, what would love have me do? Or what would kindness have me do? And then listening. This morning, the writing says the divine speaks to us when we listen. The divine is there when we open the door. And when we listen, there is a response from something greater than ourselves, that is the infinite person, the limitless possibility. The divine speaks wherever and whenever we listen to our inner voice. So the idea is that through what we are doing, carving out a little moment of time daily for contemplation, we are becoming familiar and more familiar with what the divine is to us as best we know any day. And that familiarity over time builds intimacy. And the intimacy allows me and you to more easily recognize that inner voice and sort it out from all the other sounds, feelings, and voices that are in us. My dog, Quentin, he can hear my voice from a distance. He recognizes, he knows it. I have to barely say anything and he knows it. Well, most of the time when he's behaving. And that's the kind of relationship we're looking to have, so that we can, out of a crowded room or a busy life, recognize the voice of the beloved, and that comes from intimacy. So every day we are creating intimacy, dwelling upon the nature of the divine, so we can expect more and more when we ask our question, what would love have me do today, for example? And we will be able to identify the voice of the inner person. We have some clues. The divine is life, and so its voice would never advocate for death. The divine is love, so its voice would never advocate for hate. So if anything within us urges us to hurt someone, to harm something, to take that which is not ours, to control somebody, to dominate, you get the idea. That is probably something else that needs to be investigated. So the inner person, the inner voice, speaks to our requests, sometimes not in words, sometimes in feelings, sometimes in images. So we practice asking and listening, trying not to be impatient for a specific answer right now, trying to understand that the asking of the question is the opening of the door in consciousness. What would love have me do? And then to sit with it. Our inner voice is always instantly available to guide and direct us through the vicissitudes of living. I listen with complete faith and trust to the voice of love guiding me today. I accept the abundant good that flows easily and freely to me. In return, I am loving and generous to all others, knowing that we are joined in spirit. My whole mind is open to the divine influx of joy, love, wisdom, and guidance. It's a beautiful way to start, to set the tone, to declare, my whole mind and my whole being is open to guidance today. My whole mind and my whole being is open to guidance today. Let's take a moment then to enter into the atmosphere of prayer, affirmative prayer called spiritual mind treatment. And letting go of all things for a moment, to recognize that which is the ground of all being, the intelligence that governs the universe, the love that embraces all that is, the presence almighty that is everywhere and everywhen, in all times and all places. Wholeness, perpetually present wholeness. I am one of that, meaning not only am I an inheritor of all the qualities of creation itself, but I am a conduit through which and by which and as which it expresses. And so today, by way of this spiritual mind treatment, I understand that I am also guided by it from within. And this I hold to be true for everyone listening to this broadcast. So I remind myself through affirmative declaration, there is that within me that knows, and knows that it knows. There is that within me that guides, and I am available to it. There is that within me that makes the way clear, and I'm willing to see it. There is that within me that speaks to me of the truth, and today I listen. I ask my question, what would love have me do? And I declare that I'm available and open and willing and receptive to hear, to listen, and to respond. A deep warmth of gratitude rises up in me for this time in prayer together, and for this awareness that is being established right now, and for the spiritual law that makes it all so. The divine is there when I open the door. And so it is. Today is also Valentine's Day. There's a saint in the Catholic tradition. And although in the Western world the day is celebrated primarily as a moment of romantic love, the story of Saint Valentine is one of selfless service and platonic love. And so, if you are in a relationship, it's an opportunity to celebrate love in that relationship. And if you are not, this is an opportunity to celebrate love among friends and family. And the selflessness of love is the guiding factor today in St. Valentine's Day. If you are not from the Catholic or the Christian tradition and you'd like to know more about um, St. Valentine's Day. It takes a little bit of digging, but there are beautiful stories there about the selflessness of his service to humankind during a time that, well, gender inequities and inequalities were a part of the social norm, and he was a beautiful support and presence for those who wished to get married in a time when they were not permitted to do so. So get on the Google and find it out. And if you're feeling like you need a little more support today, every day, in the description, the address for the World Ministry of Prayer is there. And I challenge you to reach out to the World Ministry of Prayer and ask for prayer support, because I know you'll enjoy it. You'll love it. Thank you in advance for sharing these posts. Thank you for your beautiful messages. I'm going to take a moment right now and just sit maybe 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute, maybe 10 minutes. I invite you to sit also with no agenda. Just watch consciousness, and you will know when it's over. Have a blessed day.